And we're back. This is episode 447 of the Colombia Calling podcast. This is the third or fourth time that Kevin McCaffrey, singer-songwriter based in Cali, has been on the show. It's been, this is a much more upbeat show with him and conversation with him than the last time when we were discussing, I would say, kind of tragic and pretty awful experience he had. Check back through our files, check back through our catalog, and you'll see that Kevin McCaffrey, and he was drugged in Cartagena. And this leads in a little bit to what we're going to talk about today, or a lot, depending on how you want to put it. But Kevin, welcome back on the show.
Thanks very much for having me back again, Richard. Always a pleasure to be on the show.
It's a great pleasure to have you on the show because it's always good to chat. And we've done conversations about Northern Ireland and Colombia and peace processes. We've done your music. We've done the unfortunate event in Cartagena. But now we get to talk about how you've kind of grown from that, I think, because you've got a new song.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was, the last time I was on the show. Yeah, obviously, I'd just come back from quite an eventful and forgettable trip in Cartagena. But no, the last couple of years have been absolutely fantastic. And I think in particular, despite it being a very difficult period for a lot of people, the pandemic actually really helped me to focus on the music and the lockdown and everything. So I mean, I released my debut single, music video last year. So I had two songs, in 2020. And then in 2021, I released 3 singles. So yeah, it's been really positive. And then, of course, I've just released my third video, Punk Rockin Blues, and it's been an absolute massive hit so far. The response has been overwhelming. It's been incredible. I mean, I just got another article there from Argentina. So I've actually got 6 different countries in the last few days since the release, since Wednesday. It's pretty amazing. Doing different interviews and things like that. Well, apart from yourself, I had one with Radio Amiga in Bogota. Next week, I've got even Caracol Radio and a few Uni Minuto, a few others lined up. So the response has been totally incredible. So yeah, I'm in a really, really good place right now, Richard. A lot better than the last time you talked to me, for sure.
Well, it's so great to hear. I mean, Uni Minuto is a massive university here.
I know. It's pretty like in the same week as I said, I've got Uni Minuto and Caracol Radio. I've done an interview with those guys on Tuesday, and the Uni Minuto I think is on Wednesday.
So if I'm in my car listening to my radio on Tuesday, so when this comes out, in fact, I could hear you in an interview. You're on a regular show.
No, that this is just we're gonna be doing an interview, a pre-recorded interview that's going to go out, I guess, next week. But it's not going to be a live interview with Caracol. Uni Minuto is going to be live though, yeah. So
cool, well done. I mean, these are huge, and I mean, who is writing to you from Argentina then? Who are getting in touch about this song?
I mean, just people just write. What you do is you do a press release, and you sort of get it circulating, and basically word gets around, and then they contact and say, "Okay, we've got this article, would like to publish." Sometimes they'll they'll put their own spin on the press release. Otherwise, they'll just sort of pretty much cover what you've said yourself. So no, it's been an absolute honor. Honestly, I've never ever had. I think the last with the video getting out of jail, I had some really good articles published in Cali and interviews and things like that for Cali TV and El País and things like that. But this response has just been overwhelming. I guess maybe it's because it touches on a lot of issues here in Colombia. It's very socio-political. Maybe it's just capturing the imagination or the moment. I have no idea. Or maybe the whole scene with the Escopolomina that I actually touch on in the video. So I mean, it's a great song, but I knew it was a great song and a really cool video, and I had a great time doing it, but I just had no way was I expecting this response. It's just been really, really unbelievable.
Well, I think it's amazing. Punk Rockin Blues, Kevin McCaffrey. Of course, it's on Spotify, or it's going to be on Spotify.
Yeah, actually, in fact, I already released it last year as a single, so it's on all digital platforms or whatever. So, but the video I just released there on YouTube went live basically on Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. Colombia time, and midday back home. So it's already on YouTube. Yeah.
I watched this video. It's a remarkably well put together video. This is high quality. You put some money towards it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's I'm not on the level of the likes of Beyonce or Ed Sheeran quite yet. So you have to of course, put a bit of your own money in. Because I mean, at the end of the day, this is the way I see it. This is my business. You know what I mean? I'm an independent artist, and 99.5% or 99 vast majority of artists, they don't just make it by themselves. There needs to be some financial investment. You might be really, really, really lucky and become famous off YouTube or TikTok, but the chances of that are just totally minimum. So the way I look at it, man, I see it just as a business. This is my business. It's my music. I'm investing in my music because if I do get that lucky break, I need to have good quality music and production and videos. But no, the guy who directed it, Cristian Jimenez, he's absolutely amazing. I mean, he does everything. He does the script. He does all the camera work. He's a photographer. He does the editing. He does the direction. He gets the whole crew together. So it's the second time I worked with him. I worked with him on the video Getting Out of Jail, and I absolutely love working with him. I think that's in any type of business or any type of work, I guess it's really important to have that sort of connection, and we just get on so well together because we've actually become, from the first video, became really good mates in the last couple of years. We're both big into football and things like that, and music and cinema. So yeah, he's an absolute joy to work with, and he just does really fantastic work every single time. He just has an amazing artist himself.
So, I mean, punk rockin' blues is, well, first and foremost, don't put yourself in the same category as Beyonce and Ed Sheeran, because you're in a parallel and more superior category. Okay. So there you go. Because
okay. I'll take that.
Because this song, and I am a big Clash and then latterly Joe Strummer fan, Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros, and you in punk rockin' blues do channel some late era Strummer into it. So there you go. That is high praise.
Well, that there's not much bigger praise that I could actually ever receive, because I am a really, really big Clash fan and Joe Strummer. One of my brothers, Joe, he used to play all the time. Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. So I know him well. I know the Clash. So to be put in the same bracket, in the same breath as Joe Strummer is incredible praise indeed.
Well, I think you should take it because it's got that feel to it, especially there's some angst in there. There's some angst in the song. And well, we're going to cut to it and we'll give you all a little bit of a listen. And then, of course, we'll come back in a second. We're going to give you a little bit of listen, and you guys out there can hear what you think, and obviously go to YouTube and so on. And then obviously give feedback, leave a comment, and so, share it, get this out there because this has gone international. Anyways, little space now for some music, and then we'll be right back. So, what did you think of that song, everyone out there? What did you think of Punk Rockin' Blues by Kevin McCaffrey, singer-songwriter in Cali? I'd love to hear back from you all. I'd love to hear on our Facebook channel, of course, on our Twitter and whatever else, or just send me some feedback that I can then pass on to Kevin, because you know what, this is all about good feeling, and we've had, it's good to get these stories out, but of course this is born of something else. I wanted to ask about, again, you said your sort of videographer's inspiration. You've got like an election in the video, not too thinly disguised Trump style character there. He certainly looks orange. And you turn up as Superman in a Superman outfit, but it starts, the whole video starts with you looking like you're waking up, after a fantastic night out and quite a stonking hangover. And also there's a guitarist in there. Is he meant to look like Snoop Dogg?
He certainly is. Yeah.
Okay,
no,
good.
Basically the production was done in a few different places. It started in a bar. We recorded the whole of Scopolomina. Of course, the conditions there were totally different to what happened to me in Cartagena. It was just in a totally public place. But this is done in a bar, but more aesthetically pleasing, let's say. Then we recorded 2 scenes in San Antonio, colonial. It was beautiful part of Cali. So and one of my friends' house, he has this incredible house in San Antonio, which actually used to be a theater, a place called Casa Abierta. So we did, the song itself it's quite a socio-political song in itself. I mean, really, the whole idea of the song, I think, comes from the lyric. One of the lyrics of the song says, "Why don't we all take some action, create another direction?" So it's really a call out to people to, get away. There's so much hatred and division these days and polarization, particularly. It's based on my experience living in Colombia the last couple of years, through the paro and the elections. And we're just, so polarized. We've become so polarized here in Colombia and in fact all around the world. We could apply this to many areas of the world. So we did the sort of socio-political, particularly the sort of politician one that you alluded to, is just we decided to take a more satirical view of it. So playing with the absurd. So it's like me, basically, I get in between the 2 politicians and push them away, and now it's sort of Superman or Super Kev as the new president of Colombia.
Super
and
Kev.
yes, and you mentioned this guy Snoop Dogg. Yeah, he actually he's the spitting image. So Christian had worked with him before, and he said, "Look, I've got this guy who looks like Snoop Dogg. What about we put him in the video?" I was like, "That sounds like brilliant crack. Let's do it." So basically, it's actually quite a nice story, because he is just one of these guys that initially washes people's windows, and he's one of these people. He's just done a lot of odd jobs here and there, selling stuff in the street and whatever. And it just basically happened a couple of years ago. Someone spotted him and said, "Oh my God, that guy looks really like Snoop Dogg." So they actually approached him and said, "Look, do you want to basically be an Instagrammer? Do you want to get on TikTok?" So that's what he's become now. He's become this character, they call him the Colombian Snoop. So he does these sort of cameos and things like that. He's been in a lot of different videos and whatever. But you know what? He's an absolute gentleman. He's such a lovely, lovely man. He's called Jose. I had the chance of chatting to him the day of recording. So he sort of appears in the that sort of Snoop Dogg and Superman with the politicians scene.
Yeah.
But also he also plays guitar, and I had this part, the scene whenever I'm recording. Sorry, when I'm playing live with the band, and he's the guitar player, along with a couple of my a couple of my best friends, who's the drummer and the bass player. So yeah, it's totally 100% on purpose, and as I say, it was fantastic working with him. He's such a lovely man.
So, I mean, if my listeners aren't interested in seeing the video, well, if they weren't beforehand, now that we've mentioned Trump, yourself in a Superman outfit, and Snoop Dogg, I think we're going to send a few people over to the YouTube channel just out of curiosity and the absurd. I think, but the quality, as I said, I've mentioned previously, the quality is very high. This video, it's a very professionally done music video, but the scenes in the bar, obviously, there's the girl who drops the powder in your drink, the mysterious powder, and of course this is what happened to you, but in a different way. You were in a public space, but where we consider most of these kind of scopolamine muggings, attacks to take place are in bars, and you put it there, and you do mention it in the song, in the lyrics as well.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, that wasn't in fact my initial idea. It was more the director. He said, like, what about we actually use that? And, it's biographical. It happened to you, and you've been doing a lot of work the last couple of years trying to raise awareness and helping out people that have been victims, or to warn people. So that could be really, really useful in that way. And sort of again, what I've been doing since it happened to me is creating awareness. So yeah, we create it. Yeah, it happens. The sort of a Scopolamina thing does tend to happen more in that situation. That's why we sort of thought it would be obviously a lot, interesting than just doing it outside. Recreating what happened to me. It's a lot more common where people are just having a good time in a bar, and someone can just easily slip something into your drink, and then that's it. So that's what we try to recreate there. And very often, and often it happens with two girls typically, rather than just the one. So which was also in the case of what happened to me.
So going back to what occurred, it was just post-pandemic. I remember very well, you were like, I've got to get out, I've got to see the sea. And you went on holiday to Cartagena. You met a nice girl. You arranged to meet, and so on and so forth. Then later on, you were robbed, you were robbed of, I think it was 60 million pesos.
Yeah, 60 million pesos.
60 million pesos.
All gone in a matter of hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow through some sort of, trap involving a local pharmacy, because who's going to spend that much money in a pharmacy? And then the cash machine. We haven't mentioned the bank that was let's say the bank that your bank, but I would like to ask, how is that, I guess, appeal going?
Okay, well, I definitely want to actually mention the bank. The first time I didn't want to for legal reasons, but now I can tell everyone exactly who it is. It's Bank Colombia, and they have been it's been an absolute, nightmare with them, because going way back there, they actually, in writing, they wrote me a letter whenever I, of course, was appealing what had happened, and they tell me in black and white that I personally did not make the transactions, that I was a victim of a theft, of a crime, but it's not their responsibility. That was the exact letter that I got in writing from Bank Colombia. So they're telling me. So there was always, I think whenever it happened to me, there was a part of me that was met, because there are cases whenever people are under the effects of scopolamina where actually you yourself will actually go, and because people just tell you what to do and you'll do it. So there's always a what if I actually was the one making these transactions, but it wasn't me, and it was there in black and white. They've actually themselves investigated and said that it wasn't me. So they're totally telling me it's not my fault. But of course, Bank Colombia being Bank Colombia and being a major corporation don't want to respond for do the right thing. So I hired a lawyer, and I'm still in this very, very long process. They've cancelled twice. One time, and the first time, they didn't even come to the hearing, which legally they are bound to do. So we had the first online hearing. I believe it was, around March or April of this year, around there, and they didn't even have the decency to come to the hearing online. So they actually, in a way, that's legally they should have. Then it was actually meant to be the hearing again this Tuesday, and then they cancelled. They sort of said, "Oh, we don't agree with with one of the stipulations, and all these legal terms," so they weren't going to turn up. So now it's put back to February. So, but I'm still going to get Bank Colombia. Where I'm coming for Bank Colombia, okay, by hook or by crook. And now it's out. Now it's out there, and I tell you what has been really, really unbelievable as well, as I did this. As you know, one of the things that I really wanted to do was create awareness. So I did a video, and the video was pretty much gone viral. It's almost 100,000 views.
Wow.
That was just a video that I did with my phone. Just a very basic video, but there's over 1,000 comments on there, and it's just been unbelievable, the response from that video. So it's obviously something. It's like the pink elephant in the room. Everyone knows it happens every single day, but none of these mayors or governors or anyone wants to do anything about it, particularly in the likes of Cartagena and Medellin, where it's a lot more common. And these are the two biggest tourist spots. Maybe, okay, you got San Andres, but these are the two biggest tourist spots in Colombia. and every single day, people are falling victim to this. And again, to reiterate, it doesn't just happen to foreigners. This happened to Colombians. So many Colombians have on that feed. It's unbelievable, really. So yeah, Bank Colombia, I'm coming for you. Just to let them know, if there's anyone listening here from Bank Colombia.
I don't know if I get anyone, because I often wage a Twitter war with Bank Colombia because I have accounts with them.
So you've also had a terrible experience with
well,
an awful bank.
I've never been drugged and robbed, but what I did do is I did a transfer from my account in the UK to my Bank Colombia account, and they exchanged the wrong amount, but I mean, like by a couple of £1,000. And I realize I'm small fry. I realize that I'm not, I don't know, a mega industry transferring money, but I was transferring money because I needed the money here and so on. And it was like a couple of £1,000 that they didn't transfer. And I got the agreement. They went, "Oh yeah, you've done it. Yeah, you've done that. We did that wrong. I'm sorry." And I pushed and pushed and pushed on Twitter until I got an apology. I said, "I'm getting a written apology." And they kept saying, "Send us by the direct message." I said, no. And in like Spanish, we wash our dirty cloths in public here. Everybody needs to see that. And I got a call from the bank manager in my town of Monpos asking me to stop on social media, because apparently it had actually caught the eye of someone in Medellin. And I've only got a few thousand followers, but equally, it must have hit a nerve somewhere. And so that's my thing. But I have to keep it because so many of my clients, for the hotels, have Bank Colombia of an account. And so for transferring money, unfortunately, I have to have it. Otherwise, I would have closed everything down.
I know. I've been exactly the same, because the way it works in Colombia, for anyone that doesn't really, or doesn't live here, maybe, is if you work for a company. I'm still teaching at a school, but if you work at a company, everyone has to have the same bank. It's not like back home in Ireland where you can choose your bank and then they pay you. So if I choose another bank, I would lose so many of the benefits. And it's just like, and then it would just cause me so much extra work, and it will cost me money at the end of the day. So it's a bit like, I don't want to just shoot myself in the foot either. So I also have to stay with this horrible bank, but it is what it is, I guess.
Horrible bank.
A terrible
bank.
No, and like yourself, so many people have told me so many stories about Bank Colombia, and even what happened to me, because obviously the vast majority of these transactions were electronically. People say that if I try and book, buy something on Falabella for £1 million, they'll block my card. So why did they not block my card when it was 60 million pesos in a matter of a few hours?
Well, that's the huge question, isn't it? That is the overarching issue. Aside from all of the health issues, aside from the trauma, it's you block me for paying Spotify on my Bank Colombia. So it's like, 12,000 pesos a month or something. It's $7 for my Spotify account, so I don't get ads on it, and they block me. But 60 million pesos, so 20, let's say at that point, sort of $20,000, they don't block. That there's exactly no coherency.
Totally. Obviously that's the big case that we have with the lawyer, and the lawyer is very confident that we will get some sort of type of outcome. I'm not expecting, to be honest. Honestly, like I made a decision there and then that I was already wasn't going to let it affect me, and it hasn't. Look, I didn't have any physical or mental trauma from that. If I get anything back, it'll be a bonus. I've already accepted that money's gone. It's not something that keeps me awake at night. It's just obviously I thought it was totally worth at least fighting the thing, and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, and we have to fight it. What they're trying to do is tire you out and wear you down.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds like.
Totally. Yeah. It's typical. It's typical. It's a bit like, I guess, any sort of banks or insurance. They never want to just pay you out straight away. You have to jump through hoops. But I do believe that justice will be served eventually, and at least I think the same as you. At least if I get an apology, that would almost be enough. If I can get obviously some money back in the process, that would be a massive bonus.
It was a real fight just to get the written apology, to admit the error. And I said, I'm not going anywhere until this happens. But what you could do, here's your next song. Like the Sex Pistols did their EMI song, and they were criticizing EMI, and radio and artists for time immemorial have done this. What about, was it Prince as well, who did the symbol on his face and wouldn't do, so now you could do that for Bancolombia. We'd have to
maybe I could do a sort of type of satire against or like maybe I could go into the rap industry and do like a diss song against Bancolombia or something.
Who was it?
Who knows?
Who did something? Oh, what is it putting the soul into Colombia? What is their, I can't remember what Bancolombia's sort of tagline is, and every time I look at it, I think of you, because it's not. It's like
it's totally the opposite.
It's totally the opposite.
I'll definitely keep it in mind. I think that could be quite a funny video that could go viral. But I do already have. I'm going to actually start and work on my next single with local musician and producer Carlos Benedetti, who's the brother of Nicolas Benedetti, the footballer. And I got inspired at, while I was there's a part of Colombia, it's really, really beautiful on the Pacific coast called Bahia Malaga. And I just had this incredible weekend, went to see for anyone that's listening, I did this tour. I think it was called with Aventrus was the tour operator. And so we went to see the whales. Went to a couple of these beaches called Ladrilleros. We're staying in Huanchacos, and that's a really beautiful cabana. And then on the Sunday, went to these amazing waterfalls, and there's another beach there called Juan de Dios. So the Colombian Pacific is absolutely beautiful. You've just got back, as you said, Richard, before we started recording.
But from the Caribbean side, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I got back from there. I wrote this song called Pacific Way. Just inspired by this experience of visiting Bahia Malaga. And so I immediately, the first day I got back, I wrote this song. It just sort of came really naturally. I sent it to one of my friends, Alex, guy from Canada. And he just says, "This is absolutely brilliant. This is one of your best songs." And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't think it was that good. It's a 3-chord song, C, F, and G. But he said, "No, honestly, what you should do is you should record this. You should go back, do a music video in the Pacific coast, and then maybe even almost use this as a type of tourism video and try and get people to go there to the Pacific coast, because it is a really stunning part of the country." And then I was like, "Geez, that sounds like a great idea." And then I sent the song to another few people, and they're saying it the same. One of my best friends from back home, Martin Rafferty, who's also a fantastic musician, he said, "McCaffrey, that is one of your best songs ever." He did exactly the same. So I think I could be on to a hit here, the next one, Pacific Way. But maybe after Pacific Way, then I'll go with the Bancolombia diss song. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be the B-side. Yes,
it could be the B-side, yeah.
I think millennials don't know what B-sides are, but it could be the B-side. Now, your friend, Rafferty, no relation to Gerry Rafferty.
He's not, but he is, I think, an even better musician than Gerry. I like his music, but I like his music more anyway.
What's the one
that Baker Street.
Baker Street. It's an epic song, Baker Street.
Okay, that is a pretty epic song,
but we can't name any others.
Yeah, I think I've heard a few others that are not so. They don't really reach the same levels as that iconic saxophone there.
Yeah. But then you say it's only a 3-chord song, but ACDC made a career of it. I mean, come on.
True, that is very true. So sometimes simple is best. Keeping it simple, keeping it That's I guess
the Police didn't play much more.
Yes, that's true. And then I think it has a really catchy chorus as well. It's very, very easy. It just says, "The sun was shining, no time for crying, down Pacific Way." So I think it's partly the easy sort of catchy melody, and it's got a really simple simple chorus.
I'm hearing a saxophone coming in with a Gerry.
There's no saxophone. No. There's no saxophone. There's going to be. I want it to be an African sound, so I'm going to try and actually get some marimba in there, some African percussion to actually give it that African sound.
All right. Well, we'll be listening out for it, definitely. But I suggest right now, Punk Rockin Blues, because it is a great song. And I do genuinely believe, and I've listened to a bunch of your songs, but this one is as I haven't heard Pacific Way yet, but I have said this is one of your best, definitely. And I think a lot of great creative efforts are born out of hardship and are born out of, really quite disagreeable experiences, and I think maybe this, obviously you said you've released so much since this episode of the Scopel. I mean you've really been able to channel creativity after this. You've really been able to focus. So I mean, I don't know what else to say on this, really. I mean, Punk Rockin Blues, and you said your friends are saying Pacific Way's the best. It sounds like you're going from victory to victory and success to success after such an unpleasant experience all those years ago.
No, I think so. Well, firstly, thank you I really appreciate the feedback. I mean, that's actually when one of the sort of interviews I was doing for, asking about my sort of opinion on music. And I genuinely do believe the best music is written through hardship, through anger, rather than whenever. I mean, everyone's different. Okay, if you like pop music, okay, I go to that. But I occasionally write love songs. Okay, but it's more, I think, when you've got that, that almost anger or that passion. I think more passion comes through that. And I think that also comes through also in the vocal delivery, rather than if something's, all happy, all happy, all nice. I don't think people can connect with it as much. Whereas if it's something you're feeling passionate about, and as I said, the lyrics of this particular song is, it's all about unity. It's getting people together. Like, no more hate, no more polarization. Let's be empathetic. Let's respect each other's differences. But unfortunately, things seem to be going the other way. It's really unfortunate all around the world.
Well, on that note, you can hear my son in the background, of course.
I can hear him all right, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're polarized and upset and angry, and it's late on a Sunday night for him. He's probably hungry. I apologize to everyone, but then they've come to get used to this noise. Let me just call him in because this might help. Hang on a second.
Francis. No problem.
Francis, come on. You better calm down. Come on. Oh, big boy.
Hello, Francis.
Can you see yourself? Can you see yourself?
Francis is now part of the interview.
It's very hard. Well, Kevin, I think it's probably time for us to say farewell. Mr. Totally Francis fine. Is not allowing this to continue. I thought it might be a cute addition. Not so cute. But yeah. Oh, you hurt your foot. Okay. I will edit this all out, don't worry.
No problem at all.
Listen, let me say thank you so much to you, Kevin, for this. I'll do a different outro, but we've got the gist of everything, and and I might put another bit of the song at the end as well, if that's okay.
Perfect. I'll send you the audio anyway right now.
All right.
You just give me your email. I'll share the.
Yeah,
audio
I'll put it in
you.
the chat just now.
Perfect.
All right.
Great.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. And I apologize.
No problem at all. Absolute pleasure. Thanks a million, Richard, for having us on the show. Take care of yourself. All right. Get well soon, Francis. Take care.
Bye.